Today's video is the wisdom of Lobo from this slipcase. It was released back in the day. It retailed for a good, pretty penny. I got two videos coming up about this. So this is video number one. But guys, welcome back to the channel. The wisdom of Lobo is clearly the most controversial comic book of the 90s. It's not that issue of Spawn that so many people go on and on about. This slipcase, it enraged people, pissed people off. It generated refunds, it generated a confused consumer base, and the hardcore fellows, the fanboys, the mother effers that were there every single week, to people like myself. It pissed a lot of them off too. So it managed to piss everyone off. Here's the amazing thing. It's also correctly on character. Lobo is there to piss everyone off. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to jump right to the drawing table once we get through that intro. I want to show you guys the wisdom of Lobo. And then I'm going to share a story about this with you guys. So let's go. Videos like this, aka Powders, I truly enjoy vids like this because I know what the rest of YouTube is doing. I know what the rest of the video comic book commentary world is up to. And they're talking to you about like other Lobo things. And they're not, I don't know, adding perspective. What the time was like when Lobo became a real character, when he really embedded himself in the DC lexicon and community and continuity and culture. Stuff like this, it really shows us like how popular this guy was, because this is of a time where a slipcase edition to come out for a relatively unknown character that spiked in popularity, it was unknown. Now, if something becomes popular, you know, they end up in an MCU movie within a couple years. So to open this up, we get Lobo's greatest hits. Here's the amazing thing right here. No, not here. Check out. Do I know what I'm doing? Here's the index. The index for Lobo's greatest hits. And I'm not 100% familiar because I don't play the reprint game a lot or the different edition game a lot. If we go through the index, we can see, look, we have Eric Larson, Kevin O'Neill, Bart Sears, Ty Templeton, Barry Kitson, Val Zemeckis. But it's not until the bottom where we get, look, originally feature in Omega Man 3. Original feature Superman 41. Original feature Adventures of Superman 464. So we're getting like these original pages between pages of his in continuity appearances. I don't know if this ever got reprinted in this fashion, because I would think, real quick, I would think what would get reprinted would be, you know, like his appearances. They might reprint them in numerical order, but not so much in this fashion where Lobo's greatest hits is a unique read, which you would only be able to get, you know, like in the box set. Now, I'm somewhat under the impression, I think this may have gotten a general release because it has a separate, you know, price tag on it, 900%. But I remember seeing this like cover a lot around comic shops. We have Lobo. This is that 4-issue miniseries that I always reference, the greatest comic book glow up of all time. This is just reprinted 1-to-1. Really nice stuff. I enjoy the paper quality and everything. This reminds me of what it was like, you know, to get this book at the time. We have some incredible Simon Bisley sketch work here. I mean, look at it's just like the mind wandering, and really fantastic textures and shadows. And we get the covers without the logo treatment. I enjoy all that. So again, a very unique reprint. But this is why we're here. This is what caused all the controversy in my household. I'm so happy to be reunited with this because I literally haven't laid hands on this since I was a young dude. The wisdom of Lobo. All right, it's prestige format, right? I mean, like, guys, here, let's spread it out. Nice cover. I love the paint here. I love just the penmanship. I always like when Simon Bisley writes in the sound effects and things like that. We don't have a cover price because this was never available outside of the slipcase. So a lot of people would buy the slipcase and they would buy this, and then therein lies the controversy because Lobo is trolling us in such a beautiful, perfect, on character way. Guys, the whole thing, it's effing blank. The wisdom of Lobo. Lobo doesn't give a crap about giving you any wisdom. I love it. It's so funny, but I understand if this upset people back in the day. I think now it would fly because so many people are familiar with the type of character Lobo is. I think if a character like She-Hulk did this, it would be understandable. I think if a character like Deadpool did this, it would be understandable. But guys, Lobo, in my view, he really has stood the test of time within the modern day. This is how we know your original Lobo OGer, aka Packers, Randy Bowman over here. To me, this is the first live action Lobo, not the Supergirl leaks, not Jason Momoa. Who cares, right? But guys, this blew me away. It's unfathomable to me how this is not like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars, where this is like just a quick purchase off of eBay. I bought this years ago for next to nothing because it had no box, and I said I don't care about the collector box, because to me this is of an era that I like to call the golden age of American comic book statues. Bowen here, he did Neil's character, we can't mention that, but he did one of Dark Knight, he did the Superman Man of Steel statue that ended up on Seinfeld. And then everything that came from these DC Direct statues, also among that line, but not sculpted by Bowen, it was Robin. I think he did Robin, but he didn't do the Joker. I think William Packwood did the Joker. But of this era of the DC Direct statue, it changed everything to where, statues like this now are thousands and thousands of dollars. They're ridiculously priced, and no comic shop in their right mind keeps them around. They just take up too much space, and they don't sell quick enough. So guys, the wisdom of Lobo, you guys just saw it. So here's the story. So one of my relatives, long time ago, she bought me this for not so much of a birthday. I think it's because I may have won like an local art contest or something. And she bought me this on the way over to visit, just as like a congratulations, and she was very proud of me, very encouraging too, along the way. And I immediately crack it open because it's just something new, comic book. And at the time, not all comic shops got slipcases like this. There was only the more retail-driven comic shops got this, but the true blue comic stores, the ones that I had access to in New Jersey, they get this. She lived in a different, pricier neighborhood, part of the town of South Jersey, and when she had access to the guy stocked this, and she didn't know. She walked in and goes, "What's blah 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 blah." Who would and the guy recommended this, so she bought it, and. So I started going through like the greatest hit, and I just remember when we got to the Wisdom of Lobo, and she saw the blank pages, she was so pissed. She felt like she got ripped off, and she takes this and returns it. And it's to me, it's not like I could say anything like, hey, because I was like too, you're almost like too young. And she got her money back, and later took me out at a different time, to make up for it, to make up for the losing the gift. And she, we kind of want to say she was very honest, very motherly woman that was in my life at the time, and like she wouldn't stand for that. She would not stand to get ripped off. She wouldn't, she felt like she got lied to with this purchase. And it literally took me another lifetime to cycle back to this, because I remember reading there were articles about people being angry about this book. And yeah, I was a part of that. You know, a family member of mine also was angry about this slipcase edition. It took me a lifetime to get back to it. I never had it on any of my like lists or radars, but when I saw this in person, and it was only $15, and understandably too, this is a $50, $60, maybe even $80 eBay purchase because some of them are still sealed, circulating. It brought me back, and it really solidified the idea of everything that we have with the modern day Deadpool. Lobo did first, and Lobo did it better within the comic book form, because Lobo, because the character is it's almost like Lobo is a well enough character to break this fourth wall and come into the real world and troll us. It's truly magnificent, and it's something that we'll never see again in American comic books. This Lobo slipcase edition, in my view, with that and knowing everything I just said, that I told you guys, this is immensely valuable to the conversation of 90s comic books, the experimentation that was going on at the time, and how Lobo, and this is a subject of a other upcoming video about this slipcase, Lobo outlasted his contemporaries. He really did. He came on the scene as a commentary against everything that they were doing at Image Comics, and they poured gasoline on this character, and look at him now. I mean, people are excited that he's in Supergirl. People are always excited when he's in animation. I remember when Superman, the animated series, when he first appeared. People love this character, and he's outlasted everyone he was commentating against. Truly unique, and the greatest fourth wall break in comic book history is right here. Guys, I love you. I love talking about comic books. Let's go.